Sapna fellas. Today we're going to be talking about five, um, five Pokemon that I think are pretty underrated right now in Series 2. Series 2 has been going on for a while, about 20 days, so we're getting close to a month of Series 2. There's been quite a few tournaments. There's been, both fan tournaments and regular tournaments, like there was, we had Orlando, which was the biggest regional ever. We've had US internationals, I think it was Oceania internationals, where Palafin won 2 times in a row, so that's funny. And then we've had big tournaments like Beanie Brawl, Rumble, Whooper Wednesdays, Friday Fight, stuff like that. And the meta has developed in quite interesting ways, to the point where it's very diverse. I think there's still the common stuff. There's still Iron Bundle, there's still Fluttermane, there's still a lot of Iron Hands, Arcanine, Amoonguss, and it's somewhat centralized but also somewhat unique at the same time. I don't know how to make it make sense. I'm bad at explaining things, but anyway, starting off, we are going to have Iron Jugulus. Now, with Iron Jugulus, at Orlando, it did get second in the seniors division, and I think it's pretty underrated because it can play pretty well into a lot of the big stuff besides Iron Bundle. You have, this is the Rain set. The Rain set has, like, the booster energy. You can go either modest or timid, depending on whether you want booster energy, speed, or special attack. That's Stab, Terraflying, well, not Terraflying, that's Stab Hurricane in the Rain with a base 122 special attack. It's gonna be pretty devastating to some stuff. The Earth Power is completely messing up Iron Hands. It's also messing up Arcanine. The Hurricane's messing up Amoonguss. If you go booster speed with Tailwind support, you can mess up Bundle. A big weakness for it, I think, is Fluttermane. Specifically the Rain set. What other stuff is there? What's some big stuff? I'm trying to think. I don't think it likes Excalibur that much, especially the Terra Ground set, because both things are weak. Both, the main type and the Terra type are weak to ice. It doesn't like ice types that much. It doesn't like, fairies. Just the basic stuff, but at the same time, it does have its strengths. First of all, especially as a Rain user, because instead of Earth Power, you can have something like Hydro Pump. Instead of Dark Pulse, you could go like Tailwind. You could go Tailwind, Hurricane, Hydro Pump, Protect. You could, if you want the Stab, you could go Dark Pulse, Hurricane. You could put Tailwind here. I've seen Rain Dance. I've seen Rain Dance on it before, which is pretty funny. The Dark Pulse can play pretty well into Terra Ghost Garganical. The Earth Power plays well into Terra Poison. It's relatively strong into Garganical. It does pretty well into Talon Tusk as well, because while it gets outsped by Great Tusk, the Hurricane's doing damage. The Hurricane's doing big damage. Anyway, but there is more than one way to play Iron Jugulus. There's the offensive set, which can be played both in and out of Rain if you want to run. George, get off my keyboard! Don't stand on it! Stop! If you want to run air, that's air cutter. If you want to run air slash, you probably can, because that will lead into the supportive set. You go Terra Electric. I can't remember why. I think it's to go against other electric types, steel types like Goldengo. Snarl for the damage reduction, Tailwind, Protect, Air Slash, booster energy speed again. so you get the fast Tailwind. It's like where Talonflame has the physical attack dropping because of Will-O-Wisp, Iron Jugulus, the supportive set, has the special attack one. It also has like the flinch capabilities. George, stop it. Why do you choose now of all times? Every time I try to record a video, you appear. Stop it. My cat's making me lose track of what I'm saying. The Stab, Snarl, and Air Slash is pretty brutal. It plays pretty well into... At this set, it does pretty well into Amoonguss. Terragrass, Iron Hands. George, I swear to God. The Booster Energy set is outspeeding main if it doesn't have Booster Energy. Yeah. George! My cat's making me forget everything I'm gonna say. So, I'm gonna conclude what I'm saying on Iron Jugulus. I apologize for the poor explanations, but I blame my cat. Okay, moving on. We have Farigiraf. Yes, Farigiraf can be outclassed by Indeedee, but the Farigiraf has stuff that Indeedee doesn't. First of all, you go, this is the set, Hyper Voice, Psychic, or Shadow Ball, or Dazzling Gleam. They're all fine, but I think Psychic's the best option. Then you go Trick Room, and what you do is you go Imprison, right? This set, when paired with, also let's go Terragrass, both Terragrass and Terra Fairy work. Let's say you pair this with either Tyranitar or Iron Jugulus. This pairing completely invalidates Psyspam. Farigiraf Hyper Voice is, if you go like this, or if you even go something like that, that Hyper Voice is always, basically almost always, 2-hit KOing Iron Bundle. The Psychic is, it goes well into Iron Hands. If you go like this, after a Throat Spray boost, Hyper Voice, Throat Spray boost, Psychic, that's KOing the common Amoonguss. It's hard for Flutter Mane to hit it. A big weakness for Farigiraf is, first of all, Roaring Moon. Booster Energy attack is the big problem. I'm pretty certain that with enough investment, it's surviving a Booster Energy speed Throat Chop, but then that's cutting off Hyper Voice, which is a problem. But first of all, that's what the Terra Fairy's for. But another weakness for it is Kingambit. Kingambit really screws Farigiraf over no matter the Terra type, because Kowtow Cleave is doing big damage. If you choose a Terra Fairy, then it can just Iron Head. But it has more strengths than weaknesses. You rarely see it anymore. You rarely see Farigiraf anymore, but it's a great partner for it is Iron Hands. Because while Indeedee would stop Fake Out for everyone, you can still pair Farigiraf with the Fake Out. So if you're going for just pure Trick Room, you can Fake Out plus Trick Room, and that's basically just a guaranteed Trick Room. I like pairing it with Swords Dance Iron Hands, because my mind just went blank, hang on. Both Swords Dance and the Assault Vest set work, but I prefer the Swords Dance set because Farigiraf, the Hyper Voice paired with the Drain Punch or the Thunder Punch, the Iron Hands is hitting everything that Farigiraf doesn't. pretty much. They cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. I am the master of the giraffe. God damn it. This isn't going well. My mind's going blank at a lot of places. I'm usually good at explaining what Farigiraf does. Okay, let's see. It's good into Psy Spam. That, like, it plus Tyranitar or Roaring Moon invalidates Psy Spam. Trick Room in Prison can ruin a lot of like hard Trick Room teams. 2-hit KOing Bundle, big damage into hands. Another big thing. A very good partner for it is Fluttermane. Well, Farigiraf is a good partner for Fluttermane, not Fluttermane's a good partner for Farigiraf, but Fluttermane doesn't like any any physical priority move at all. So say, Mimikyu Shadow Sneak, Cerulege Shadow Sneak, Scizor Bullet Punch, Hariyama Bullet Punch for whoever's running that. Fluttermane don't like that. Farigiraf completely stops that. It also stops Fake Out from Sableye, from Iron Hands, from other Fake Out users like Gothitelle. It's stopping Indeedee from using Psychic, from using Trick Room, from sometimes using Hyper Voice. It's stopping Sylveon from using Hyper Voice. It's overall just a really strong Pokemon. It hits hard. It's a really bulky presence on the field that, because of the special attack stat, it can't just be ignored like you would, let's say, a taunted Amoonguss. You can taunt this thing, and it's still throwing hands. Again, the weaknesses to Kingambit and Roaring Moon do kind of let it down a bit, but that's why you run teammates to stop it, to stop those from running rampant, which leads me into my next Pokemon, Hatterene. Hatterene plus Farigiraf, a very scary combo. All you do is you go 2-5-2 quiet. First of all, you are underspeeding Amoonguss, which is big. But I feel like Hatterene is extremely underrated right now because you very rarely see it. You really rarely saw it in Series 1 as well, but that, and then you can go Psychic or you can go Psyshock depending on whether you want to hit Psyshock. That's OHKOing main. That's OHKOing the common main. It's horrifying. Hang on, let me see this. Nerd of Now. You go Hatterene, Terrifier, Trick Room. Psyshock against Fluttermane. Let's go the spec set. And you go Psyshock. It's a roll to KO. But I don't run Covert Cloak. I run Life Orb. So it's a guaranteed OHKO against the common Fluttermane, which is insane. It's OHKOing the common Amoonguss. I've noticed that a lot. Plays really well into Iron Hands because not only does it 4 times resist Drain Punch, but it's doing big damage back with D-Gleam and Psyshock to get past the Steel weakness to make sure that it doesn't automatically lose to Goldango. You go D-Gleam and you go D-Gleam, Psychic, or Psyshock, and you go Mystical Fire. That Mystical Fire is doing big damage to Goldango, Terra Grass, Iron Hands, regular Amoonguss. I've OHKO'd Amoonguss sometimes with that. Other Steel types, like Kingambit, that may otherwise threaten Hatterene. Meowscarada, but that's dropping to D-Gleam anyway. And then for the last move, you go Trick Room. Now, Hatterene, it needs these 4 moves and Trick Room, but that stops you from running Protect, which can be a problem. Farigiraf and Hatterene are both very position-based Pokemon, where if you get them in the right position at the right time, or in the right mode. So say, Trick Room. You get Trick Room up, this thing, it ruins everything. It ruins Bundle. It ruins Bundle, it ruins, Fluttermane with Psyshock, it ruins Iron Hands, it ruins King Gambit sometimes, as long as you Terra, Goldango. Basically, all the stuff I mentioned before and more. It plays well into a majority of the big stuff. Same with Frigoreth. But Magic Bounce, not only can it not be taunted by Talonflame, it also can't be spored by Amoonguss. It can't be encored by Iron Bundle or can't be encored by Iron Bundle or Screamtail. It's one of the strongest Trick Room Pokemon that like currently, and I never see anyone using it. It's wild. It has a higher special attack stat than Fluttermane. Enough special defense to tank a lot of stuff. Pretty damn high defense as well. It's like Gothitelle levels of bulk. Bar the HP, I think. Hang on. Let me see Gothitelle's bulk. Yeah, it's just straight up Gothitelle levels of bulk. It's insane. And I think the main thing that's helping Hatterene right now is, again, the playing well into 4 out of 5 parts of the Big Five. The Big Five being Fluttermane, Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, Arcanine, and Amoonguss. It plays really well into all of them. It's doing big damage to Palafin as well. Big damage to the recently occurring Terra Poison Baxcalibur. Because that won Oceania. It's basically, these two together are like a different, less cringe version of Psyspam. Pretty much. So, I think that about concludes everything I have to say about Hatterene. So, moving on, we're going on to Staraptor. Now, Staraptor plus Booster Bundle is like the ultimate check to Talontusk. You go Choice Scarf. The reason it goes well into Talontusk is because Intimidate lowers Great Tusk's attack. It's immune to one of its stabs. And Iron Bundle outspeeds, so with Choice Scarf, you're likely to be outspeeding anyway as well. It's after an Icy Wind. A big thing about this is Final Gambit. Now, the max HP Final Gambit is OHKOing a lot of important stuff. It's OHKOing Iron Bundle. It's OHKOing Terra Fairy Fluttermane. It's OHKOing. A big one is Indeedee. Yeah, both forms of Indeedee are being OHKO'd. Armarouge? Yeah, it's OHKOing Armarouge. Ceruledge? It's OHKOing Ceruledge if it goes Terra Grass. Arcanine? It's almost OHKOing Arcanine. And a lot of Arcanine aren't max HP anymore, so chances are you're OHKOing Arcanine. Dragonite? Almost OHKOing Dragonite. Almost OHKOing Dragapult. And what's some other big stuff? You're not OHKOing Amoonguss, unfortunately, but that's what Brave Bird is for. It's OHKOing... let's see. It's OHKOing Gothitelle. It's OHKOing... what's some... oh, Jesus. What's some other big stuff? Let's scroll through. Not Brute Bonnet. Doing big damage to Corviknight. What else? What's some other big stuff? It's doing pretty big damage to Garganical. It's almost OHKO. It's borderline OHKOing Goldango, but if it Terra Steals, but that's max HP Goldango. It's OHKOing Glimora. Big damage to Great Tusk, but even then that's what Brave Bird is for. Big damage to Grimmsnarl. Big damage to Gyarados. Big damage to Hydreigon. OHKOing Iron Moth. Almost OHKOing Iron Treads, because that's a thing nobody uses. OHKOing Iron Valiant. Big damage to King Gambit, but even then with King Gambit, you have close combat. And then for the final move, I think you just go U-turn, so that you don't get trapped by Gothitelle. Staraptor, it plays super well into the majority of the really strong meta stuff. Hard counters Talontusk, as I mentioned before. Basically stops Peristrapping with Final Gambit. Close combat is messing up Bundle as if Final Gambit isn't already. It's insane, and you never see it anymore. You could also go a support set with safety goggles. Let's say, yeah, Brave Bird. Well, what normal moves do you get? Double Edge, I guess. You could go Focus Sash Endeavor. You could go... You give it Tailwind. It gets Struggle Bug for some ungodly reason. But Staraptor is super strong into the current meta stuff, as I mentioned before. I think that's about all I have to talk about with it. It's fairly straightforward. The big thing was just how much it does with Final Gambit. So, finally, we're going to be talking about Mudsdale. Now, riddle me this. Riddle me this, riddle me that. When was the last time you saw a Mudsdale on the track? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But it has two sets. You can go at it, well, it has more than one set. The problem with Mudsdale is that it has two really good abilities. It has both stamina and inner focus, but sometimes you will want both. That's the problem. It gets high horsepower. That heavy slam is doing massive amounts of damage, because Mudsdale is one of the heaviest Pokemon out there. The high horsepower, it's stronger than Earthquake because it's not multi-target. It's messing up, that's OHKOing the common Goldango if you go, like, max attack, which I don't see why you wouldn't. It's messing up Garganical. Basically every form of Garganical. Terra Flying gets hit with Rock Slide, Terra Poison gets hit with, high horsepower and heavy, not Terroring gets hit by Heavy Slam, and also Body Press. Stamina plus Body Press is insane, because it's a base 100 defense, being boosted every time it gets hit. Yeah, being boosted every time it gets hit. So, that Body Press, you can imagine how much that Body Press is doing. This thing, if you, it plays well into Bundle if you Terra Steel. As long as you Terra Steel, you play well into Bundle. The Assault and because of Assault Vest, you do pretty well into Floatmane with Heavy Slam, Iron Hands with High Horsepower. With Inner Focus, you're messing up Arcanine with High Horsepower. With Safety Goggles, you're messing up Amoonguss as well. Close Combat's a big thing. It's messing up King Gambit. Mudsdale, it's a slow but really bulky ground type. It's like Great Tusk, but without the fighting type weaknesses, and more specially bulky. And also, it's nothing like Great Tusk. Well, it's somewhat like Great Tusk. Just give Mudsdale a try, because you'll find that surprisingly it plays well into the big meta stuff. Yeah, my mind just went blank for this entire thing, and I rambled a lot, but I tried. These are the 5 Pokemon I think are really strong in the meta right now. I think they're really underrated and nobody's using them. So I wanted to bring attention to those, you know, diversify the meta a little bit. I think that's going to be all for now. I apologize for the somewhat poor explanations, but I did the best I can do. And I will see you all later. Bye.